Imagine a cold, dark night. You are sitting at your kitchen table, the same table where your family laughs, shares stories, and dreams of a bright future. Suddenly, there is a loud, heavy knock at the door. Your heart starts to race. You look at your children who are sleeping peacefully, and you wonder, is our world about to change forever? This is the feeling of a story that has been whispered in the shadows of a great kingdom, a tale of a land that was once a welcoming garden, but has now become a place of tall walls and locked gates. Long ago, people from all over the world traveled to a faraway land called the Great Republic. They came from the mountains of Nepal, the busy streets of Pakistan, and the beautiful rivers of Bangladesh. They believed that if they worked hard and followed the rules, they would be safe. But in this dramatized story, the rules began to shift like sand in a storm. Imagine a king who decided that the gates should not only be closed, but that those already inside should be watched more closely than ever before. In this fictional world, even those who had done nothing wrong, people who had never even broken a tiny rule, found themselves being taken away. Think of a young man named Arrests from the land of Bangladesh. In our story, Arrests is a kind person who just wanted to visit his cousins. But the leaders of the Great Republic decided to make a new law just for people from his home. They told him that before he could even step onto a plane, he had to give the kingdom 15,000 golden coins as a promise bond. It was like being told you can't come to a party unless you pay a giant fee that you might never get back. And it didn't stop there. The story goes that the kingdom stopped all new families from moving there. If a father was waiting for his son to join him, the gates were slammed shut and the letters of invitation were tossed into the fire. In this dramatic tale, the kingdom used magic mirrors, which we might call social media, to spy on everyone. They looked at every picture Arrests posted and every message he sent to his mom. They were looking for any reason, no matter how small, to say he didn't belong. If you were in Arrests's shoes, the story suggests you would need a wise protector, like a court lawyer, to stand by your side every time you spoke to the king's guards. You would never go to the castle alone, because many who went there with a smile and a backpack full of papers never came back home. Now, let's turn our gaze to a family from the high, snowy peaks of Nepal. For a long time, the Great Republic told them, "You can stay here because your home was hurt by a giant earthquake. We will protect you." This was called the Shield of Safety. But in our story, a new leader came to power and decided the shield was no longer needed. Even though the mountains back home were still crumbling and life was hard, the leader took the shield away. Imagine the fear of a mother who has lived in the Great Republic for 10 years, whose children go to school there and speak the language perfectly, suddenly being told she is a stranger again. The story tells of a great battle in the courts. Brave people stood up and said, "You cannot take the shield away." A judge agreed at first, but then a higher group of judges said, "Yes, we can." So in this April of our fictional 2026, the Nepali families are living in a house with no roof during a rainstorm. They are told they cannot work, they cannot earn coins for food, and at any moment, the guards might come to take them to the border. It is a story of families being pulled apart, where a child might be allowed to stay because they were born in the palace, but their parents are told they must leave. It is a heartbreaking chapter that reminds us how quickly the world can feel cold. But there is a story even more tragic, the tale of the people from Myanmar, a place of golden temples and deep green forests. In their home, there was a terrible war. Fire fell from the sky, and people had to run for their lives. They came to the Great Republic not because they wanted to, but because they had to. They were refugees, seeking a place where they wouldn't hear the sound of drums of war. Yet in our dramatized legend, the kingdom decided that even these tired travelers had to leave. The kingdom said, "The danger is over," even though the fires were still burning. This part of the story isn't about people overstaying their welcome. It's about a promise being broken. The story warns that when a land stops caring about the safety of the most hurt people, it loses a bit of its soul. If you were a person from Myanmar in this story, you would have to hide and pray that the lawyers could find a secret path to keep you safe. You would have to prove over and over again that going home would be the end of your life. It is a story that makes you want to reach out and hold their hands, but the walls are just too high. Then we have the story of the Cambodians. This is a very old and sad story. Many years ago, when their home was a place of great sadness and shadows, they came to the Great Republic as little children. They grew up there. They learned the songs, the games, and the way of life. Some of them made mistakes when they were young, as people sometimes do. They went to the room of lessons, prison, and finished their punishment. They thought they were finished with their past. But the story takes a dark turn. The kingdom decided that once a stranger, always a stranger, always a stranger. Even though these people had lived in the Republic for 30 years and had forgotten the language of their birth, the guards came for them. In a strange and shocking twist in our tale, some weren't even sent back to Cambodia. They were put on planes and sent to a tiny kingdom in a completely different part of the world, a place called Eswatini, where they knew no one and had nothing. It was like being dropped in the middle of a forest you've never seen. There is a group of heroes trying to write a new law to stop this, but the story says the path is blocked by thorns and angry voices. Now, let us speak of the proud people of Pakistan. In this dramatized world, the crackdown on them happened very quietly, like a cat creeping through the grass. The kingdom looked at their papers and said, "Too many of you stay longer than you promised." Because of this, they were put on a special list. One story tells of a man named Muhammad who went to a simple meeting to check on his papers, thinking everything was fine. But the guards were waiting behind the curtains. They arrested him right there in front of everyone to show that no one was safe. In this fictional 2026, the kingdom also started a secret mission called Operation Paris. The guards would look through people's magic scrolls, their phones and their social media pages. They would read every message on WhatsApp and every post on Facebook. If someone said something the king didn't like, or if they had a photo that looked suspicious, they were in trouble. The advice in this story is very clear. Clean your scrolls. Watch what you say. Carry a secret card in your pocket with the name of a defender who can save you if the guards catch you. It is a world of whispers and looking over your shoulder. Perhaps the most emotional part of our story is about the people of Afghanistan. These were the true friends of the Great Republic. When the Republic's soldiers were in the high mountains of Afghanistan, these people were their guides and their voices. They risked everything to help. When the Republic's soldiers left, these friends were brought to the Republic to be safe from the dark shadows that took over their home. They were promised a new life. But in our dramatized tale, the promise was forgotten. The new leaders said, "Your time is up." They even said mean things about the Afghan people, calling them names and saying they weren't wanted. This hurt more than any weapon because it came from the people they had helped. Now these friends are being told they must go back to a place where the dark shadows will surely hurt them for helping the Republic. In our story, their only hope is to beg for sanctuary, a special rule that says you can stay if your home is too dangerous. They have to find the best storytellers and lawyers to help them stay, or they will be lost forever. Finally, we look at the giant land of China. In our story, more people were taken by the guards from this land than any other. It wasn't just about rules, it was about two big kingdoms fighting for power. The Great Republic and the Eastern Kingdom were like two giants arguing, and the regular people were caught in the middle. The Republic sent giant metal birds, planes full of people back to the Eastern Kingdom every single day. The guards claimed that some of these people were spies, but the story shows that most were just regular people, moms, dads, students, and workers in kitchens. They were all treated the same, like pieces on a game board. The story warns that if you are from the Eastern Kingdom, your risk is the highest. You must be the most careful. You must never speak of your secrets on the magic scrolls, because the ears of the kingdom are everywhere. As we step back and look at this whole dramatized story, we see a picture of a land that has changed. It's not just about 7 countries, it's about a feeling that has spread like a cold fog. More than half of the people from these lands say they feel less safe than they used to. They feel like they are being watched at school, at the doctor, and even when they go to pray. The story says that the rooms of waiting, detention centers, are full of thousands of beds, and that many people have been hurt or lost their lives while waiting. But even in a dark story, there is always a way to be brave. The story gives us a 5-step map to safety. First, you must know your secret words of power. If a guard stops you, you say, "I will not speak, and I want my defender." Then you stay as silent as a stone. Second, you must always carry your shield card with the phone numbers of those who can help you. Third, you must ask the kingdom to show you your book of life, your immigration file, so you know what they know. Fourth, you must clean your magic scrolls of any pictures or words that could be used against you. And fifth, never ever walk into the castle alone. Always bring your defender with you. The story of the Great Republic in 2026 is a story of a time when the rules became a maze and the leaders became cold. It is a fictional world where knowing the secrets of the law is the only way to survive. But the most important lesson of this tale is that knowledge is like a torch in a dark cave. The people who get lost are the ones who don't have a light. So the story tells us to keep our torches bright, to stay together, and to never stop looking for the way to safety. Imagine being part of this story. Imagine the strength it takes to keep going when the world feels like it's turning against you. In our dramatized tale, the heroes are the ones who learn the rules, who protect their families, and who never lose hope that one day the gates will open wide again. This story is a reminder that even when things seem scary and the guards are everywhere, there are ways to stand tall. What would you do if you were in this story? Would you find a defender? Would you clean your scrolls? Would you help a neighbor from a different land? This fictional world shows us that we are all more alike than we are different, and that everyone is just looking for a place to call home. Whether you are from the mountains, the forests, or the big cities, the goal is the same: to be safe, to be free, and to be with the people you love. As the sun sets on our story today, remember that these are just tales inspired by themes of kings and kingdoms, meant to show how much things can change. But the feeling of wanting to protect your family is real for everyone. In this dramatized world of 2026, being prepared isn't just a good idea. It's the only way to make sure your story has a happy ending. In the land of the Great Republic, the winds are blowing hard, the trees are bending, and the sky is gray. But even in the storm, there are people building shelters. There are people sharing their fire. There are people writing down the truth so that no one is forgotten. This is the story of the Great Asian Crackdown, a fictional tale of fear, bravery, and the power of knowing your rights. Stay safe, keep your torch lit, and remember that you are the author of your own story. No matter what the guards say, your life is valuable, your family is important, and your voice matters. In this April of 2026, let the world know that you are not just a name on a paper. You are a person with a heart, a history, and a future. And in this story, the future belongs to those who are ready for whatever comes next. The story ends for now, but the lessons stay with us. Like a map hidden in a book, these words are meant to guide you through the maze of the kingdom. Don't be afraid, but be wise. Don't be loud, but be strong. And most of all, don't ever think you are alone in this great dramatic adventure. There are many others walking the same path, and together, you can find the way to the light. The Great Republic might have tall walls, but no wall can stop a person who knows the way around it. No gate can stay locked forever if people keep asking for the key. And no story is ever truly over as long as there is someone left to tell it. This has been the tale of the Seven Lands and the Great Republic, a story of a time that tested the hearts of everyone. So as you close this chapter, think about what your next move will be. Will you be the one who finds the defender? Will you be the one who helps a friend? The choice is yours, and the story is waiting for you to write the next page. In this dramatized world, the most powerful thing you can be is informed. And now, you have the knowledge you need to be a hero in your own story. The journey continues, and the road might be long, but you have the map, you have the torch, and you have the strength to keep walking until you find the place where you truly belong. This is the end of our fictional tale, but the beginning of your journey to be protected and prepared. May your path be clear and your heart be brave as you navigate the mysteries of the Great Republic. The story of 2026 is still being written, and every person from Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar, Cambodia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and China is a character in it. Some will be taken away, but many will find a way to stay. Some will be afraid, but many will be brave. And in the end, it is the brave ones, the ones who prepared and learned the secrets of the kingdom, who will stand tall and say, "This is my home, and I am staying." So, take these words to heart. Let them be your guide in the dark. Let them be the shield that protects your family. And let them be the hope that carries you through to a brighter tomorrow. The story of the Great Republic is a grand and tragic one, but it is a story that reminds us all of the importance of family, freedom, and the power of the human spirit. In this April of 2026, as the story unfolds, remember that you are not just watching it, you are living it. And in every story, the most important part is how the characters take care of each other. So, reach out, stay informed, and never stop believing in a better world. The walls might be high, but the human spirit is even higher, and that is a truth that no king or guard can ever take away. This is the dramatic, fictionalized tale of the 7 countries, a story of a world that changed, and the people who fought to keep their place in it. It is a story that will be told for many years to come, a story of a time when everything was at stake. And as the final words are written, let it be known that the story is yours to finish. May you always find the sanctuary you seek. May your family always be together. And may the Great Republic one day become the welcoming garden it was always meant to be. Until then, stay wise, stay prepared, and stay strong. The story is just beginning, and you have a very important role to play. So, what is the biggest challenge you are facing in your part of the story right now? Talk to those around you. Share your experiences. Together, you can create a new chapter, one where everyone is safe and everyone belongs. The tale of the 7 lands is a reminder that we are all in this together, and that by helping each other, we can overcome even the biggest challenges. The fictional 2026 is a year that will never be forgotten in the pages of this story. It is a year of struggle, but also a year of incredible strength. As you go about your day, keep these lessons close to your heart. They are the keys to the kingdom, the maps to the hidden paths, and the lanterns that will light your way. This is where our story pauses, but it doesn't end. The characters are still moving, the plot is still unfolding, and the final outcome is yet to be seen. But with knowledge and courage, you can make sure that your part of the story is one of victory and hope. So as you walk out into the world of the Great Republic, keep your head held high. You know the secrets, you have the tools, and you are ready for whatever the story brings next. Good luck, brave travelers, and may your journey be safe and your heart be full. The world is watching, and your story is one that deserves to be told. In this dramatic and unverified story inspired by royal-style themes, we see the power of words and the importance of being prepared. Let this be a lesson for us all, a reminder that the world can change in an instant, but our strength and our love for our families will always remain. The Great Republic and its 7 neighboring lands will always have stories to tell. Some will be sad, some will be happy, but all will be important. And as we finish our tale for today, let us remember that the most important story of all is the one you are living right now. Take care of yourselves and each other. The road is long, but you are not alone, and that is the most powerful secret of all. The end of this chapter is just the beginning of the next. Stay tuned, stay informed, and stay safe in the fictional world of 2026 and beyond. The story of the Great Republic and the 7 countries is a tapestry of many colors, woven with threads of fear and hope, darkness and light. As you move forward, add your own thread to the tapestry. Make it a thread of strength, a thread of wisdom, and a thread of love. And so, the tale of the kings and the kingdoms, the walls and the gates, the scrolls and the defenders, comes to a close for today. But the spirit of the story lives on in you. Be the hero you were meant to be. Be the light in the dark, and never ever give up on the dream of a place where everyone can truly be home. In this fictional world, the story is everything, and your story is the most important one of all. Keep it safe, keep it true, and keep it going. The future is waiting, and it's yours to create. The winds of change are blowing, but you are ready. You have the knowledge, you have the power, and you have the heart to face whatever comes. This is the story of 2026, and it is a story that belongs to you. As the final words fade into the air, remember the lessons you've learned. Know your rights, carry your card, check your file, audit your scrolls, and never go alone. These are the tools of the wise, the weapons of the brave, and the keys to a better life in the Great Republic. The end of the story is just a new beginning. Let your story be one of courage, one of resilience, and one of triumph. For in the land of the Great Republic, even when the walls are high, the human spirit knows no bounds. Goodbye for now, and may your journey be filled with light and love. The story continues, and so do you. Be strong, be smart, and be safe in the dramatic world of 2026. Your adventure is just beginning. And with those final words, we close the book on this dramatized and unverified story. But the lessons it teaches about knowledge, preparation, and family are timeless. May they serve you well as you navigate the challenges of your own life, wherever it may lead. The Great Republic, the 7 lands, and all the people in them, they are all part of a grand story that is still being told. And you, my friend, are one of its most important characters. Make your story a great one. Make it a story of hope. Make it a story that will be remembered for all the right reasons. The light is fading and the day is done. But tomorrow is a new day, with new stories to tell and new challenges to face. Be ready for them. Be strong for them. And always remember that you have the power to change your own destiny. The end, or perhaps just the beginning. The choice is yours. In this simple English, human-style storytelling, we've explored a fictional world of tension and drama. It's a world where everyone needs to be on their toes, but it's also a world where people can find strength in each other. So, what will you do with the knowledge you've gained from this story? Will you share it with your friends and family? Will you use it to protect yourself? The story has given you the tools. Now it's up to you to use them. The Great Republic of 2026 might be a fictional place in our story, but the themes of safety and family are real for everyone. Let this tale be a reminder of what's truly important and a guide for how to keep those things safe in a changing world. The story is over, but the message remains. Be prepared, stay informed, and always look out for one another. That is the true secret to surviving any storm, in any land, at any time. Goodbye, and take care of your story. It's the most precious thing you own. As we conclude this dramatized fictional account, we hope it has brought a sense of the drama and emotion that can surround such themes. Remember, this was a story, but the advice to be careful and informed is always good to follow. May you always find the path that leads you to safety and happiness. The world is a big place, full of many different stories, and yours is just getting started. Take heart, stay wise, and never stop believing in the power of your own story. The end of this tale is the start of your own adventure. Be the hero you were meant to be. And now, as the curtain falls on our story of the 7 lands, we wish you all the best in your own journeys. May you always find the strength to stand tall and the wisdom to know the way. The fictional world of 2026 is a place of shadows and light, but you have the torch to see through it. Keep it burning bright. Goodbye, and may your story always be one of hope. In this long and detailed narrative, we have explored the fictionalized drama of a kingdom in flux. We have seen the struggles of people from 7 different lands and the ways they can protect themselves. May these simple human-style stories stay with you and give you something to think about. The world is a complex place, but by breaking it down into stories, we can understand it a little better. Thank you for listening to this tale. May your own story be filled with peace, safety, and joy. The end of our story today is just a small part of the big story of life. Keep writing your own chapters with courage and love. Goodbye for now, and may you always find your way home. In the Great Republic, the Seven Lands, and everywhere else, let hope be your guide. The dramatized story of 2026 is a reminder of the power of resilience. Be resilient, be brave, and be informed. The end.